Hello friends, it's time for Tuesday Tales with Miss Randi. Today we're going to read one of my favorite stories. It's called Amy Wu and the Perfect Bao. There's Amy and there's her sidekick, little kitty. Let's see what the story's about. So before we start reading, I want to show you, this is Bao. Isn't that cool? It's like a steamed bread. Amy can do lots of things. She can brush her teeth, she can tie her shoes, and she can even do both at the same time, sort of. Look at Amy. Do you think she's doing a good job at both? There goes some toothpaste. Oh my goodness. She's got one foot in the air, one on the ground. It hasn't quite been tied yet. But there's one thing Amy cannot do. She cannot make the perfect bao. Here it is. Sometimes they come out too small. This bao is on the back of an ant. Sometimes they come out too big. This bao is bigger than both of Amy's hands. Sometimes she adds too much filling. Sometimes not enough. And sometimes they fall apart before they reach her mouth. No. Amy's mom and dad make perfect bao. So does her grandma. Their bao are soft and fluffy and so delicious. Look at all of those steamed buns. Amy could eat them all day, and sometimes she does. Today, Amy is going to do it. She's going to make the world's most perfect bao. Bao making is an all-day event. Amy's dad starts in the morning mixing together the ingredients for the dough. There's Dad mixing ingredients together, and Amy's helping. She has some water for him. Then it's time to knead. He pushes the dough, he punches the dough, and Amy gives it a try too. They leave the dough to rise. Amy keeps an eye on it just in case. It grows bigger and bigger and bigger. Look at that. Have you ever made a bread or dough, something with dough with your grown-up, and it rises, gets bigger and bigger? That's what their bao dough's doing. Amy's dad squishes the dough down just in time. He rolls it into a log and cuts it into pieces. Meanwhile, Amy's mom seasons meat for the filling. They have garlic, mushrooms, pepper, salt, and ginger. Everyone in the family gathers around the table and rolls up their sleeves, ready to work. Amy's first bao turns out a little funny. So does her second. She looks worried. She's a little nervous. Remember, she was having trouble? It's hard to know how much filling to add. Too little and the bao is sad and empty. Too much and oops, falls on the ground. It's also hard to pinch the bao shut just right. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Amy watches her mom make a perfect bao. She watches her dad do the same and her grandma. They all try to teach her. Roll out the dough like this, says her dad. Use just enough filling, says her mom. Pinch, 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 says her grandma. Look at Amy. She looks a little frustrated. But Amy's bao just aren't the same. They are too empty, too fat, or they have holes in them and they leak. Maybe today won't be the day after all. Maybe Amy just can't make a perfect bao. Then Amy has an idea. The pieces of dough were cut for grown-up hands. Hold your hand up to your grown-ups and see how different they are in size. But Amy's hands are small. She whispers her idea into her grandmother's ear. Amy's grandma cuts each piece of dough into 2 small Amy-sized pieces. Now they fit perfectly in Amy's palms. Carefully, carefully, Amy rolls out the dough. She adds just the right amount of filling And then she pinches it shut. And there it is, Amy's perfect bow. She did it. So she had trouble at first, but then she thought about what would make a good solution. She asked a grown-up for help, and it worked. Amy made another, and another, and another. She's a bow-making master. Soon all the dough and filling are gone, and everyone is very tired, but they're not done just yet. Amy's grandma boils a big pot of water. It's time to steam the bao, so we have to cook them now. Cook the dough. Amy keeps an eye on the steamer. There's the steamer on the oven, just in case all her perfect bao and all the imperfect ones too are snug inside. The bao are done. Amy's mom lifts the lid off of the steamer and whoosh, out comes a puff of steam. Amy can't see anything at all. The steam clears, and there are Amy's perfect bao. They're not too big, they're not too small, they have just the right amount of filling, and they're soft, fluffy, and oh so delicious. Look how excited she is. Amy eats one, and then another, and then a not so perfect bao too she eats. And you know what? It tastes just as good. So sometimes that happens too when you're making things. They're not all perfect, but they still taste good. Look at this, then Amy goes to see her friends and she brings all of them bao to try. Look at everyone's having a taste. Isn't that cool? And then in the back of this book, there's a recipe that you can make with your grown-ups if you want to try bao at home. Okay, can you help me say the end? 1, 2, 3, the end. That was Amy Wu and the perfect bao. This book is available to check out from Normal Public Library along with several others. You'll just need a library card and we can put it on hold for you. You can come and pick it up anytime. Coming up soon is a spring micro challenge, so please do watch our website for that, a reading challenge for the spring. We have lots of other events on our calendar at normalpl.org too. We would love to see you soon. Bye-bye.